I'm Erica Carnegie, and I'm one of the ambassadors for the Girls Who Brunch Tour. I'm also the national ambassador for the Miss National American Teen and Collegiate Pageant, and we had our takeover this week. I'm so glad that you guys got to see all of my sister queens show their various talents and get to talk to you guys. But today, I'm going to be making some cookies with you, and my mom is going to be narrating. Say hi, Mom.
Hi.
So you guys get to watch me make cookies today and go through the process with us. So let's get started.
Okay. So hi guys, this is Amy, Erica's mom, and today we're going to make coconut lime cookies. The first thing you want to do is turn your oven on to 350 degrees Fahrenheit so it can start warming up. All right, so turn it on right now, and then you can watch us make the cookies. And also too, we will post the recipe at the end of this presentation. All right, so Erica, in the bowl, we already started for you, so you wouldn't have to listen to her beat flour. You wouldn't have to listen to her beat the butter and the sugar for a long time. So here's what's happening. With the sugar, here's what you need. You need 1.5, you want to show them right there? 1.5 sticks of butter. So if you have butter there you go. You're going to do 1.5 sticks of butter. And then you are going to do 1.5 cups of sugar. All right, just put that back because we have already beaten the flour and the sugar together. Now you have to beat that or whisk it for about 2 minutes until it's nice and light and fluffy. Okay, and then now, Eric, if you move the bowl over to your right, near the beater, and then you're going to add an egg, 1 egg. So here we go. Just go ahead and crack the egg and put it in there. And this is a fun activity to do with kids. Kids love to bake cookies, and more importantly, they love to eat them. But always remember, never ever eat raw dough. Back in the day, I did that growing up. I'm surprised that we weren't sick, but now they tell you not to eat raw dough because of the eggs in it. So make sure that the kids aren't doing that. Okay? So now we're going to go ahead and start incorporating the egg into the butter and sugar. And Erica's going to do that. And as you can see, yeah, go ahead. Use the whisk. Use this. It's easier on here. Use the whisk. Yeah. Make sure you get all the egg in there. Yeah, there we go. All right. And she's going to beat that until it's nice and creamy. And you want to start off a little bit slow, and then you can always pick up speed so you don't splash yourself. All right, how's that coming along? Good? All right, so use the spatula and scrape down the sides of the pan. Always, when you're baking, that's something you have to do constantly because you will have pieces along the side that will not be incorporated. So just use your spatula and scrape anything down in it. So that way you're making sure everything is getting mixed up properly. All right, so just go ahead again and incorporate that. Do it for another 10 or so seconds. All right. And so now, here's what we're going to do. So we already have everything pre-measured for you. So now she is going to add the dry ingredients. And we have 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. All right, you want to add that in there. And then we're going to add the baking powder, and she has some little measuring utensils right there, and we need 1.5 teaspoon. So for people always get them mixed up, the teaspoon is the little one. So look for the half and then for the 1, because we need 1.5. That's a small one, and it says TSP. Okay, so we're going to use, if you have baking soda or baking powder, whichever one, just use it, and it will work the same. Okay, so we're going to measure out 1.5 teaspoon. That's 1 TSP, 1.5 TSP of baking soda. You're going to add that to your dry ingredients. Just scoop it and make sure it's nice and flat. You always, when you're measuring, when you're baking, you want to make sure everything is nice and flat when you're measuring out, so it's not piled up. Okay, all right, and then we go for the half. Yep. So always smooth. If you're doing flour or sugar, whatever you measure, smooth off the top so you know it's exactly it's the correct amount. So now we have the 1.5 teaspoon of flour. Then we're going to put a little bit of salt. I just like to put a pinch because the salt ties everything together. You know, if you're eating your food and there isn't any salt on it, it kind of tastes, even though it's well seasoned, sometimes it can taste bland. But you put a little salt in there and then all of a sudden, maybe put another pinch. And all of a sudden everything comes together. So the salt will bring the flavors together. All right. Then we have the lovely limes to the side. So we are, and by the way, earlier I rolled those limes. You want to roll it on the counter? If you get a lime and the lime is too hard, sometimes they're not right. So just roll it on the counter, or some people like to pop it in the microwave for about 8 seconds to soften it up. But if you press down hard and roll it, then it softens up. What it does, it breaks up the pulp inside so all the juice comes out in the pulp. And then now we're going to cut that open and squeeze it into the batter. So get a sharp knife, and if you're a kiddo, make sure mom or dad, make sure grandma, somebody's with you when you're cutting so you don't, you know, accidentally slice yourself. Yeah. Okay. And then we have a juicer. So she's going to juice the whole lime into the bowl. All right, and then do the next half. And some people say, hey, I don't like lime, I don't like citrus. That's fine. You can find another flavoring. Coconut and lime tend to go together very well, so people like the coconut and the lime. But if you don't, you can use almond extract, and you can find that at any store like Michael's or something like that where they sell baking supplies. You can use that extract and just use 1 or 2 drops. It's very strong, so use 1 or 2 drops of almond extract, and then get it to, you know, the flavor that you want. Okay, then we have another lime. And this one, we're going to use the little grate right there. Yeah. And we're going to take some of the rind off of the lime, excuse me. So go ahead and just grate it. You can grate it right on the board, on the cutting board, so it's easier to pick it up. So just grate it right there.
All right, and we have a question about what type of cookies we're making. A couple people missed the beginning of our video. We're going to make sure they know.
We're making coconut lime cookies. Very tropical. To reflect her Caribbean culture. Our whole family is Jamaican, so we're doing that. Coconut is very popular in the Caribbean, and so is lime. It's used in a lot of dishes, whether it's baking or cooking. We use it a lot, and we also use it for the coconut. Gives off this, it has the water in the center of the coconut that's very good, coconut water, and lime is used to make like drinks and flavorings. All right, so when you're grating your lime, you want to make sure you're just getting the green part. You don't want to go too deep down into it and then all of a sudden you're getting white portions. That's known as a pith, P-I-T-H. That has a very bitter taste to it. So make sure you're just getting the exterior, the green part off, and then that should be enough. Okay, and then here we go. We're going to knock that a little bit. Get any extra, just tap it on the counter. Yeah, there you go. You're going to scoop that up and put it in your batter. And I tell you, the lime is so fragrant. And your cookies, your house is going to smell so fragrant from the lime. And then your cookies will be so fragrant. And when you're eating it, you're going to see the little flecks of green. All right. And then now we're going to add the coconut. So show the pack. We have some sweetened coconut flakes. You can also buy unsweetened if you'd like. But I like the flavor of the sweetened coconut flakes. And you can put about a cup in there. Some people like a whole lot of coconut in it. I don't like it when it's too much coconut in there. So use about a cup, or depending on who I'm making it for, I might put a cup and a half. Because my friends will go, oh, pack it with the coconut. I want a lot of coconut in it. And that's fine. But use about a cup. If you want more, use more. If you want less, use less. So measure it right over the bowl. So anything comes in there. Yeah. So now we're adding a cup of coconut flakes. And you can always find that. These are found in the baking aisle. So you can buy a whole pack. Is there any left in there? If there's any, just dump it out in there. Because I think it blew it. Yeah, that's good. Just dump it all in there. There's only a little bit left in there. Yeah, just dump it in there. It's good. Yeah, there you go. All right. With the coconut flakes, it's fine. Use a cup, but if you want to use a little bit more, just go ahead and do that. All right, so now we have everything in there, and we're gonna add one more thing we forgot to add was the vanilla. Yeah. So I ran out of my really good Madagascar vanilla this morning, so I've got this one here, you know, but that's fine. Put 1 or 2 caps in there. And yeah, I like the taste of vanilla, so I put a little bit extra in there, but normally it's about, you know, a teaspoon or so. All right, so now she's gonna go back to the little blender here and just put everything together. And you want to start off slowly. Yeah, you can slide that out of the way, because when you are going to start mixing your dry ingredients into your wet ingredients, don't crank it up on high. What do you think will happen? You're going to have a huge dust bowl. You're going to be covered in flour. So go ahead and do that and start off slow. And once you incorporate some of your ingredients, then you can start picking up the speed. Also, to another way you can do this, I like my coconut flakes just the way this is. Eric and I like it that way. But some people like for their coconut to be toasted, and that's fine. If you want to toast your coconut flakes, go ahead and put a piece of wax paper on your baking sheet and spread your coconut in a thin layer and bake it at 350 for about 5 or so minutes. Now you have to be very careful. You have to watch it. Okay, that's good. Just use a spatula. Toast your coconut flakes for about 5 minutes and watch 5 to 7 minutes. Watch it carefully because they burn easily. And you can't use burnt coconut flakes. Your stuff will be disgusting. All right, now we have to just put this back over the pan. Put it back over the pan so we can get this. Okay, now this is a really tight dough. So once you start, after a while you see where you have to use a spatula, go ahead and use that. Put that and just press the button and pop it out. Press the...
It's not mixed all the way.
It's not? Okay. You might have to incorporate with your spatula. And it's always good to have a nice, good spatula where you can get everything out of there. Okay? All right. So you see she's making sure we don't waste anything here. Waste not, want not, I always say. All right. So get as much of the dough off as you can. Ooh, this smells so good. You can smell let's pop that over here. You can smell the lime, the fresh squeezed lime juice. You can smell the lime zest. It's amazing. I wish we had smell-o-vision so you could smell this. It is so fresh and tropical. All right, so that's your batter right there for your coconut dough. Your coconut lime dough. All right. So anything you have on the sides, just scoop it with your spatula and get it all in the mix. And then after that, you want to hold up so they can see. Can you see the little green flecks from the lemon, from the lime? I don't know if you can, but anyway, when you make it, you will see it and you will smell it. It's so, so fragrant. All right, so now we're going to scoop. We're going to start making some. That's fine. You can just put it right on that thing. Right, we're just going to show them what it looks like, then we'll show them later. So just take your little, where's the scoop? It's right here. Depending on how large you want your cookies or how small, we're going to use this medium scoop. If you want them smaller, then use a smaller scoop. I think we have a smaller one here. You can show them. Okay. So we're going to use this medium scoop. That's a small one. Here's a medium one right here. Yeah, use the medium one because they make really good sized cookies. So go ahead and scoop. Scoop the dough.
Onto what?
Just scoop it, and we're going to put it on a baking sheet. So you want to scoop it. And, all right. This is Stoneware. By the way, if you're wondering where I got my stoneware, it's from the Pampered Chef. It's Stoneware. It is awesome for baking. And you're wondering, why is it brown? That's because the more you bake on it, the more seasoned it gets. And so it's going to, it's made from clay. And it starts out being this pretty beige color. But as you cook on it, it turns brown. And that's a sign that it's being seasoned. So no matter how much you scrub it and stuff, it's never going to go back to being beige. You might have some beige spots like you see on there right now, but it's nice and seasoned and it's great for baking. And I tell you what, your cookies will be so moist and they will not be burnt up or anything when you cook on this. If you have baking sheets that are made out of metal, then go ahead and put a sheet of wax paper on the bottom, and that will help so that way the bottom of your cookies will not get burnt. That's always a problem. People cook on metal baking sheets and then the bottom of their cookies will get burnt. Now, these coconut cookies are going to spread. So you want to make sure you just don't cram them up next to each other. Like, that's good. 6 to a sheet, and then move those down just a little bit. Move and separate them just a little bit from each other, the cookies. On the tray, just, yes, slide them back a little bit. Yes. Okay? And another thing you can do, depending on what you like. Now, this is ready to go in the oven, and you'll bake it for about 10 minutes at 350 degrees. Some people might bake it about 12. I would not say go any more than 12 because then it's going to be too dry. But if you like your cookies a little bit more brown and crispy, then go 12 minutes. But normally at 10 minutes, it's ready to go. There are other variations for this. What you can do is, some people like sugar crystals and more coconut, and that's fine. If you want that, then just make, have 2 little piles or 2 bowls, one with sugar crystals and one with the coconut flakes. And then you can just roll it in coconut and then roll it in sugar, or just roll it in one. Roll it in sugar or coconut, or roll it in both. And then you put it in the oven and you bake it. So it depends on how fancy you want to get or how you prefer your cookies. So this right now is the finished product. And then I think I can see, can you see the green flecks in there? Yeah, why don't you hold it up to the camera so they can see the green flecks? You can't? Okay. But it's in there, I'm telling you. You can see it, and the smell is amazing. All right, so then we're gonna put that in the oven. And then you will bake that for 10 minutes. And if you like for them to be a little bit more crisp, then you bake for 12. Now, this is what the finished product looks like. If you hold it up to the camera. And we have some that we baked earlier today. And that is the finished product. Coconut, lime, cookies, and your whole house will smell amazing. Now, you can have them just like that. Some people put a little dusting of powdered sugar on it, but for us, we think it's sweet enough because the coconut flakes are sweet, and so we don't add anything else to it. And they're good for dunking in milk or just having them by themselves, and they're great for dessert. So it's a great way to sneak in some coconut if you think you want your kids to try something new. And again, this is a fun thing to do. And Erica and I have been baking since she was a little bitty baby. It's a great activity for kids to do together. They learn how to count. They're measuring a cup of flour, some sugar, maybe 2 eggs, and whatever it is. It's a great way for them to learn to count. And it's also, it's a great science thing because they see how something can go, how it changes when you add protein to starch and all that good stuff. Okay? All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed me and Erica showing you how to bake lemon lime cookies. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you, Mom, for narrating. I just want to say a big thank you to you guys for watching not only my live and my live at the beginning of the week, but all of my sister queens throughout this week during our takeover, and watching them do hair tutorials or makeup or teach to dance and all of the various talents that they have. So thank you so much for being with us this week, and I hope that you had fun. Bye!